Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to a very special online event today. It's called 5-Minute Sonic Tune-Ups to nourish you throughout the day. Sound healing music practices for turning up productivity, turning down stress, and tuning in to sleep. My name is Stephen Dinan. I'm the president and CEO of the Shift Network, and I have been on a exploration of the frontiers of sound healing right alongside with you over the last years. And we're going to get to take that into some really interesting terrain and very targeted to improve our day-to-day well-being and specifically stress and sleep and productivity with a really remarkable pioneer in this field. His name is Barry Goldstein. He's a multi-award-winning producer. He's a composer, author, and musician. And he's also taught a program for Shift before, and he's going to have a brand new program coming up that we'll share more about towards the end of today's program. But Barry, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me. And I'm excited to connect with you and our listeners today.
Yeah. Well, let's dive in. I did mention that we're going to have a brand new program with you, Sonic Medicine for your energy centers. So if people get sparked by today, then we've got more to come, and we'll share a little bit how you can dive deeper into this work. So Barry, let's begin our journey today with a little bit of your backstory. I always think it's helpful and good orientation to understand what propelled you on the path to really seeing the potential of sound healing to really transform our daily lives.
Thanks, Stephen. So for me, it all started, if you look behind me, you will see a Cherry Sunburst Gibson Les Paul guitar there. And that literally was my rite of passage into sound exploration. My dad bought me that guitar when I was 14 years old. And we really didn't have a lot of money to buy this guitar, but my dad took me aside when he saw my eyes light up as they brought this guitar out. And he said, if I buy you this guitar, you have to promise me that you're gonna stick with music. And of course, I was a 14-year-old kid. I made that promise, not knowing at the time that literally it was more of a rite of passage than it was a promise. And I remember going home, sitting on the edge of my bed, plugging it into an amplifier for the first time, and just the joy that overcame me in playing that guitar for the first time, and my dad's belief in me. And, as my career unfolded and my intentions moved to fruition of being a full-time record producer and being involved with, producing everything from hip hop to rock and roll to working with Les Paul, 30 years later, who was the inventor of the guitar that my dad got me, literally the path became a bit challenging for me. And I'm sure a lot of people listening today might be able to draw an analogy of when you set an intention for something and that moves to fruition, but it's not exactly what you thought it was going to be. And it became a lot of work, a lot of timelines and deadlines, and taking 100 hours to create a 4-minute pop song. And I really started to wander from my heart, from that 14-year-old boy who loved doing music. So I remember thinking to myself, I need to connect back to where I started, back into my heart. And looking online, typing in music and the heart. And what I found was that our hearts at a relaxed state beat between 60 to 70 beats per minute. And that utilizing music in this tempo could actually entrain or synchronize our hearts. I didn't know what entrainment was back then, but it's literally when our internal synchronization can synchronize to an external source, in this case, music. So that was the beginning, Stephen. I started taking these 1-hour-long journeys, the opposite of what I'd been doing, not knowing where I was going. I call it decomposing to music as composing to it, and connecting to something beyond myself and just letting these compositions move through me. And what I found was that I was moving into these very meditative trance-like states. And over a period of time, I was able to use it to move through my own anxieties, my own sleeping challenges, and to navigate my energy more effectively. Now, back then, I didn't know what I was doing was tapping into heart coherence, I didn't know that I was moving my brain waves into alpha brainwave states. All I knew that it was working for me. And I didn't think people would listen to it, but I began to share them with friends, one who's a massage therapist, one whose mom was going through dementia and needed music to sleep to, one whose mom was going through cancer and chemo treatments. And they started giving me these amazing testimonials of how they were helping people that they loved. And I really knew that I was onto something. It was the reconnection I was looking for, the same energy that I felt experimenting with that electric guitar and taking that childlike essence of music was reacclimated in my heart. And I started doing more research. I wrote a book about how music could be used. But that guitar behind me that my dad gifted me was really the passageway for me. And I've never lost sight of that promise that I made and that rite of passage, and still bringing in every day, taking on that essence of that 14-year-old boy and having fun with it. So that's where it all started.
I love the way it comes full circle with that commitment as a 14-year-old boy. You didn't know what you were getting into, but it's a beautiful journey you've been on. So let's talk a little bit about sort of getting really specific, what you've learned about how different kinds of sonic interventions or music can work with our energy centers in some very specific ways, in a kind of almost like a medicinal way, where we're sort of giving a very specific dose of something to exactly what we're needing. So I think that would be really helpful to understand.
Awesome. Well, what I learned over the years is that music doesn't just happen to us, music happens in us, and that we are the instrument. So in many ways, we are like that guitar. That guitar has 6 strings, and when tuned properly, it creates beautiful harmonies, it creates beautiful chords. We're able to orchestrate music with it. But if one of those strings is out of tune, a beautiful handmade guitar can sound like you bought it in a pawn shop for $10. So it's all about staying in tune. And just as the guitar has 6 strings, we have a system as well that works with energy and works with resonating with specific situations, emotions in our life, called the chakra system or the energy center system. And I like to look at it in a very practical way. Just like the guitar has 6 strings, we have 7 centers. They all have different jobs that they do in terms of managing emotions in our life. And similar to our digestive system, where in order to feed the individual parts, we have to nourish the whole system as well. So we take food in and it's broken down into energy, which then moves us into digestion and being able to have overall health and well-being from the foods that we eat. And it's similar with the chakras as well. Before we work with the individual chakras, how can we nourish this system the same way that we do in our lives? And I call this musical nourishment. So just as you have 3 times a day where we nourish ourselves with food, imagine being able to nourish ourselves with music, sound, and vibration to really get that chakra system open and moving. And when we treat the whole and we open up this system to create more energetic flow, then looking at the specific chakras and working with them individually becomes a lot easier to achieve. And when we process these situations in our lives and our energy centers remained aligned, it acts as literally a spiritual antenna to connect us to source and to enhance our creativity, to enhance our mission, our purpose, and our legacy. So if you're spending a lot of energy and not knowing why, or you don't have enough energy and it seems like, you're spending on everything else but your passion and your purpose, then these tools that I'm going to share with you today are really going to be amazing, because each one of them is going to provide ways that you can work through managing and navigating your energy at specific times of the day.
Love that metaphor of musical nourishment and how it's like the the physical level nutrition and the parallel. It sounds like you can kind of go run with that and say there's different food groups or different nutrition groups that. So, and I also know that our needs do shift over the course of the day, and we're going to be exploring that a little bit more. So maybe, first of all, sort of step back and say, what kind of musical nourishment do you see that we kind of need at different parts of the day to sort of give a sense for some of these like food groups, if you will, for our energetic system?
Sure. And, it really depends where you are and what you're doing in your day. But I like to start out with some basics. And I always start my day in a place of connecting to gratitude and opening up that chakra system to allow the energy to flow a little bit more. So I have a 3-breath process I'm going to move through with you. The first breath is connecting us to the earth. So if you visualize 2 different pyramids, they both start from your heart, but think of the point here in your heart going down into the base of a pyramid. And that energy at that base connects us and brings energy in from Mother Earth. So it connects us to that mother energy of being safe, of being nurtured, of being taken care of on each step that we take in our day. It has a symbolism for them. So we'll bring that breath up from the bottom of our feet, and we'll bring it all the way up through the lower centers, through the base chakra at the base of your spine, through your sacral chakra in your lower abdomen, and then through the solar plexus, all the way up into the heart, where we'll release that. So that's the first breath. The second breath, if you visualize a second pyramid, the point starts here and the base goes outward. That connects us to the energy of the Father, or the heavenly energy. And this is all about releasing control and bringing that through the crown chakra, which is the bridge between our physical and ethereal body, through our third eye, through our throat, and then to our heart, connecting in gratitude and releasing it. And then we bring a breath in through the heart and a breath out through the heart, which integrates the energy of the feminine energy below and the masculine energy above from the heavens into the heart to create gratitude. So I will take you through the process. There's nothing that you have to do. I invite you to place your hands on your heart and to close your eyes and just slow your breathing down a bit. And this music was created specifically to allow you to entrain to a relaxed state in your heart. So just allow yourself to take the journey with that, and I'll begin. And just feeling that energy, that awareness as you have your hands on your heart, that this is your home. Feeling your own heartbeat, your own breath, your own sonic signature in your heart. Beautiful. And now bring your awareness to the bottom of your feet. Feeling those beautiful low tones connecting you to the earth as you bring in gratitude for being nurtured, for your next steps on your path. Just gently bring that breath up, bringing it in from the bottom of your feet, all the way up to the base of your spine, to your lower abdomen, to your upper abdomen, all the way to the heart, and releasing it out with an audible sigh. Taking a moment to feel gratitude on the path that you choose at the beginning of your day. thankful for each breath. Now bring your awareness to the top of your head. In this area, we connect to the heavens, to all the things we do not know, to the unlimited field of all potentials that you can tap into today. So bring a breath in through the top of your head, bring it through your third eye, bring it through your throat, all the way to your heart. And then release that breath with an audible sigh out through the heart. Beautiful. And now again, bring your awareness in the center, your heart. Each breath, each heartbeat is unique to you, and integrating the energy of the feminine and the masculine, bringing that breath in through the heart, and then releasing it out. And just feeling your own heartbeat. No matter what goes on in your day, you can always come home to the heart. And just feel the essence of gratitude for something in your life. It could be a person, a place, a situation, an event, or just an energy. Bring that picture into your heart and drop it like a beautiful pebble in a serene lake. Feeling it ripple out to every cell in your body. As you open that energetic flow to your energy centers, there's more energy available for you throughout your day. And one more breath in through the heart with a big ah out, releasing any stress you still might be holding. And when you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes.
Well, thank you for that. That was really grounding and opening. You have a wonderful voice that really invokes us into that deeper field of presence. And there was one thing you said that I wanted to sort of, call forth and build on a little bit. Is like you were saying, feel how those lower notes connect you to the earth. And for some reason, I'd never heard anything like that before. And it's just, there's a specificity around that. It's like, oh, each note is almost like, it's like a little connection vector that's connecting us to some other aspect of us and the different frequencies. And I thought there's a beauty in this, is in the specificity of that. I wonder if, if we can build on that and thinking about what each node is doing in our system and what it's connecting us to.
Absolutely, yeah. So for me, it's no coincidence that our first energy center is called the base center. So if you think about that in terms of frequency range, similar to a bass guitar or bass, there's a lower frequency. And when we hear that energy, it's not just with our ears. Think of yourself at a concert or in a club where you're listening to club music with a lot of bass. You're really feeling that. It's connecting you and it grounds you to the earth because it's the lowest frequency that in our chakra system. So that base of your spine connects with that energy of the earth. And as we go up the individual centers, the frequencies get higher and faster. So it would make a lot of sense as we move up to the opposite end of that, that our crown chakra, which is the bridge between our physical and our ethereal body, would have much higher frequencies and moving much faster. And those heaven or ethereal tones that we often hear are higher, similar to angelic voices or beautiful, lush strings, that come in. Those are what connect us in those higher frequencies. And we can really target these specific frequencies. And that's where we become our own sound healers. And similar to nutrition and nourishment, it's not always a one size fits all. While, for instance, we know that broccoli, might be thought of as a very nourishing food, that if you're allergic to broccoli, is going to create inflammation in your system. And so I love to teach people how to listen to music in a different way with your physical body. When something resonates with you, you feel more expansive and you feel like more wide open, like being on the top of that mountain, right? And that pyramid of energy is just moving in and expanding for you. But when something's dissonant for you, it's the other way around. And it's more like trying to protect your heart. So while someone might recommend a great piece of music for you, Stephen, you might listen to it and say, wow, this one's just not resonating with me. And that's how we really can learn to become the DJ of our own lives and navigate our energy based on that. Music's a bridge. Where am I now in my day emotionally? Where do I want to go in my day? And what piece of music is going to take me where I want to go? And when we tap into utilizing music as a program, again, not something that's happening to us, but when we're able to navigate it ourselves and create a program out of it, we're plugging it into our day every day. That's when we can really get into specifics. And that's when we can really explore the energy centers on a deeper basis. Some of you who might have been doing that might have felt energy getting stuck in certain areas as you brought the energy up the lower centers, or you might have felt it really open in those upper centers. And so that might give you a clue or an indicator what specific energy center you need to work with. And this is an ongoing process. This is not something that happens overnight. This is a practice that becomes literally a way of life for us. And being able to know what centers we're stronger in, what centers we're weaker in, because they're normally attached to specific situations or events that happen to us in our lives. And the more we know, the more we can work with releasing the lower vibrational energy that we're holding emotionally. And when we free that, we free up energy to connect again. It's always about our gifts, our passion, our purpose. What are we here for? Because that's where I want people to utilize these teachings and being able to implement it practical ways in their lives so that they can further their mission somehow. Whether it's writing your next book or hugging your grandchild, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to always be about, entrepreneurial type things. It's about whatever your mission and your vision is.
Beautifully shared. And I like the idea of particularly vibrationally connecting in with the kind of earth element, and the grounding chakra is a foundation for the day, because it's like life can get very buzzy. And so if that foundation is more solid, that's really open, starting from the base and working up is a beautiful way to begin, so that we've got our kind of like our solidity underneath us as we take on whatever challenges and mission oriented things that we do during the day. So that's really beautiful.
Yeah, and what I find as well is that is when we're tapping into gratitude and we're able to listen and bring our awareness in on such a minute level of actually feeling our own heartbeat and hearing our own breath, then no matter what happens in our day, we know that that can't be taken away from us, and that we have this ability to come back home to that during our day as well. So the more familiar you become with your inner symphony, what's going on and the sound that's going on inside of your physical body, the more it magnifies how you listen to music as well. It's like it enhances everything that you do and magnifies how you receive music and listening, because again, you're hearing beyond your ears. You're hearing in every cell of your body.
Hmm. Beautiful overview. You want to dive into the second practice now?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, we start our day off, imagine starting off in this beautiful space of gratitude and having energy flowing optimally. And then, things happen, they occur in our day where challenges sometimes can come in, and it feels like we're either giving our energy away, or we sometimes call them energy vampires, specific people or challenges in our life that seem to kind of suck the energy out of us. And we can find our day moving in a direction that we might not want it to go. But that's where really we're utilizing music and sound come in, because it doesn't have to snowball into one of those days that, wow, you wouldn't believe the day I had. It could be, wow, you won't believe this day that I had. So by curtailing things and looking at energy when it's happening to you, you can stop that snowball from going and literally replenish your energy. And just like lunch in the middle of your day replenishes your energy so that you have more for your productivity, for focus, and whatever it is that you're doing, utilizing music in that same way can also restore and renew your energy, your productivity, your creativity. And sometimes it's really about shifting your environment. So even though I love this room, I love being around this creative energy, there are times where I feel like, oh, wow, I need to get out of this room, but I don't have time for, a half an hour or an hour break. So I created what I call 5-minute musical vacations. And this is great for those of you who are spending too much energy in situations. So when your chakras are balanced and when you're aligned, you're not spending a lot of energy in challenging situations. You're able to respond. And this is derivative of the word responsibility, which is our ability to respond. Something happens that might be challenging, but you're choosing how much energy you want to spend in that specific situation. So you're not letting your emotions leak into that situations or escalate it. When your energy centers are not aligned, there's a lot of times we have knee-jerk reactions. We react or we overreact. And that really entails that we have a lot of energy to clean up, not just in that moment, but it could ripple out for days. So curtailing that energy before it happens is really important. So if you find yourself in an environment where you're being challenged or you have an event, take just 5 minutes of your day and listen to a piece of music that is going to take you out of your environment. So I'm going to take you through that 5-minute process of this 5-minute musical vacation. And I invite you again, just go inward. As soon as we close our eyes, we're slowing down. As soon as we put our hands on our hearts, we're coming home to our own unique vibration. Close your eyes and open your hearts, and I will take us there in one moment. So big breath in, just allow yourself to start breathing in and out through the heart. So for a moment, just let the music carry you beyond the 4 walls that you're in. Allow yourself to journey into a multi-sensory experience. Let it take you to a place far away. It could be your favorite place in the world, or it could be a place that you've never been. And bring your awareness to your feet. Where are you standing? Maybe it's in the soil or barefoot on a beach or on the top of a mountain or in your favorite city. Allow yourself to feel where your feet are planted. And hear the sounds. Could be the wind. Could be the chatter of people eating at a beautiful restaurant. What do you hear? What are the smells around you? Allow yourself to feel all of those senses. Maybe that breeze, you can taste the salt of the ocean or the sweetness of a flower. Allow yourself to bring in that sense now. Just moving into the music, gently flowing in this environment. Placing your fingers, each one on each other. Feeling your hands and fingers touching each other. Bringing in all the senses. And just allow yourself to take this journey. Maybe there's an insight you'll receive on a specific situation. Allow yourself to have that now. Feeling the energy of renewal, of connecting to something beyond yourself, an unlimited field, all your new creative ideas come in from. Cleansing away any energy that felt stagnant in your body. Bring a big breath in from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head. And then release that energy from the top of your head all the way back down into the earth. Letting that energy just move back into the earth as you tap into new, vital energy and bring it into your day. And you might move your feet around and your toes a little bit, your fingers and your hands. And just allowing yourself to really feel that new energy. When you opened your eyes, did it feel like you've been away for longer than 5 minutes? So, yeah. So it doesn't take long, Stephen. Music is such a powerful way to transport us and to renew and manage our energy. So imagine just doing that for 5 minutes in the middle of your day whenever something challenging happens, or when you just want to keep your energy on track, how useful that could be to manage your stress, anxiety, and transmute that. Let it be a catalyst for bringing in new creative ideas, new productivity, and connecting to that field beyond myself. From me has been my biggest lessons, that everything that I do on my path is a collaboration with something beyond myself. even in that initial story and that experiment I had. That was my big aha, that when we invite God, source, whatever you'd like to call it, into our creative process with us, and that's when we really move into that state of collaboration with the divine and watching our dreams, our missions, our legacy move into action. And sound and music have a way of really magnifying that, in my experience, more than anything else.
Beautiful. And I can tell just from that experience that like 5 minutes of that is far more effective at reaching a deeper level of our being and harmonizing with that in than just 5 minutes of meditation as well by itself without any musical accompaniments. It's like the music entrains us into a deeper state right away.
Absolutely. And it's a multi-sensory experience, and that's how we shift out of environment, because we're just seeing and hearing most of the time. We're not combining
Mm.
all those different senses. And that, again, is a great way to awaken our energy centers
Hmm.
as well and begin that flow through multi-sensory experiences. And we're just always wanting to upgrade our vibration throughout our day so that we're never kind of on that downhill momentum. We're always moving where we want to take our energy.
Yeah, it's super helpful. Is it good to have headphones for this too? It kind of creates a more immersive experience.
Yeah, I mean, I love wearing headphones just because I can hear more of the dimension of things. And I think that, if you could listen with great speakers and you could be in between the speakers, that works really well as well. But I always say that God invented surround sound, and we're just emulating that technology in our technology, right? When you go to the ocean and you're standing in front of that ocean, you're hearing true surround sound in every part of your being, the ocean and the breeze and the birds and whatever it is. So if any ways that we can emulate that and enhance our experience, I'm all for it.
Hmm. And so do you have just like a extended playlist of like all these different tracks, and do you kind of label them with like what the medicine for the moment is for you as well?
Absolutely. And that's what I suggest for people. This is not about me and just my suggestions is, when you're done with this call, take inventory of your music and what you have and what each piece of music means to you. And then look at your schedule. We schedule everything else in our day. Why wouldn't you schedule a piece of music in your morning when you have a leadership meeting, or in the afternoon when you're visiting a loved one in a hospital and you really need to be patient and nurturing? And place these pieces of music or playlists to really navigate your day where you want it to go. And inherently what songs are going to move you and which ones aren't. But it's also fun to make this collaborative. I love having parties where I invite people in to share their music. Play your playlist for me, Stephen, of songs that create um, inspiration in your life. Or can you play me your gratitude playlist? And then I get to write down yours, you get to write down mine. Before you know it, I have 20 songs that I can utilize to navigate my energy.
That's really cool. And makes it fun and collaborative as well. Well, I know you've got a third experiential for us, and maybe start a little bit with explaining why at the end of the day, so many people have in our culture a challenge is winding down and actually getting into a good mode for sleep.
Yeah, and so for this, if you have a pen and paper, you might want to utilize it during this process, or you can also just do it and take the journey as well. But the whole idea really is exactly what you just said, Stephen. Many of us have a hard time winding down, and there are over 75 million people in our country alone who experience insomnia. And we have to ask ourselves, why is that? Why are so many people having challenges sleeping? I think for many of us, we take our type A personalities into the evening with us. So you might be going through Instagram, or you might be watching TV before you go to sleep, or you might be working on a business plan. And what's going on is that we have different brain waves that are geared towards different things. Like our beta brainwave states are geared towards concentration and focus. So you need your brain waves to be moving more during your day, and they're faster. But when we're winding down in the evening, we're going from beta to alpha, which is slower, which is a relaxed and attentive state. And then we're going into theta, which is a daydream state that is very relaxed. And then we're going into delta, which is sleep. But many of us don't bridge those different brain waves. So we're going from high beta, we're going to sleep right away because we're so tired. And then we are, waking up, an hour or two later due to the fact that we didn't wind or scale down. So for winding down at night, it's really about making our sleep state more sacred. And I think we've lost touch on that. Sleep is a time where our body and our soul is supposed to be renewing, rejuvenating, and restoring, and not going to bed and waking up with the same energy. So you don't want to take your older energy of yesterday into today. So we want to be able to process some of our day. So the ideal music for winding down is really going to target your heart at a relaxed state. Studies show and research shows that music at about 60 beats per minute is going to be most effective. And if you don't have music at 60 beats per minute, very easy to find. Just do a search for it, and you'll come up with several different choices, I'm sure, and you can decide what resonates with you. You don't want to listen to music with a lot of lyrics, because that just puts you into your analytical mind before you're going to sleep. As soon as a lyric comes in, we create a judgment. Oh, I love that lyric, or I don't like that lyric, or it brings up an emotion. And we really want music to just be similar to lighting a candle in a room. You know that when you light a candle in a room, it's just changing the ambiance of the room, but you don't have to stare at that candle for it to be effective. It's the same with the music. So about an hour before you go to sleep, start to play music at about 60 beats per minute. Allow your breath to adapt to that. And as soon as your heart starts moving into those more coherent states, your brainwaves start to slow down as well, and you begin to bridge into sleep as opposing to more or less shocking your brainwaves into those different states. Another part of that is, as you're listening to this music that I'm going to be playing for you, I invite you to think of one challenge that you had in your day and either write it down or just sit with it for a moment and see if you can find a lesson that you learned within that challenging situation, and see if you can connect to gratitude for having that insight. Everything that we bring into our day has a silver lining to it and has something that we can look at as an alternative to what we think it is when we allow ourselves to slow down enough to really feel what it might be about. And then the second thing would be to bring in something, someone, a person, place, thing, situation, event, or energy that you can really be thankful for. And I want you to really bring that in to your heart space for the second half of this piece. So it'll be about 5 minutes. And so if you can divide it up for yourself, the first minute or two, move into a challenge that you can turn into a blessing. And the second half, I just want you to really allow yourself to feel gratitude in your heart. And I actually have a watch that has a metronome on it that will be at exactly 60 beats per minute. So that will allow you to really move your heart into a relaxed state. And for some of you, this might be a beautiful bridge into your evening as well as you're watching this. So I invite you to just go inward again, place your hands on your heart. It will take me a moment to just turn around. And I'm going to be playing this live based on the group energy. I just want to tap into all of us here, not just as individuals, but also as a sound tribe coming together to bring this energy, bringing our intentions, bringing our gratitude in together. So take a moment, close your eyes, place your hands on your heart, and I'll begin in a moment. Again, just bring a gentle breath in through the heart and a breath out through the heart. You can move your toes and feet around a little bit, and your fingers and hands, feeling yourself in the room a little more refreshed and restored, and nice and calm, ready for the next part of your day.
Mm. Well, thank you for that. I'm so calm, and I know all the other folks out there are probably feeling super calm themselves. So yeah, kind of want to take some moments to just breathe that in, but
Mm.
yeah, maybe you can share a little bit more. You'd mentioned about heart coherence and how that's really so central to this synchronization of our systems and being able to wind down and open up and relax into sleep.
Absolutely. So, the Institute of Heart Math talks about how specific emotions can bring about smoother and more orderly heart rhythms, such as gratitude, kindness, compassion. And when we move to these states and we are experiencing heart coherence, our body moves in more optimal ways. We improve what's called our heart rate variability, which is basically our markers for how we deal with stress and our ability to be resilient in our life. So when our heart is moving in these smooth, orderly rhythms, it's literally becoming the conductor of our body. So if you imagine for a moment that each part of your body was a part of an orchestra, and that each one played at whatever tempo that they wanted to play at. What you would be hearing is very incoherent music. So when we are able to combine those emotions and utilize that with music, which is going to entrain our hearts at the same time, then we can really move into the place of heart coherence more effectively. So the combination with music for me is very integral because our heart has the ability to slow down and adapt to those relaxed states, moving us to what's called the parasympathetic state, which is all about restoring and cleansing our energy. Our digestive system works better when we're in that state. It's basically a state of healing in our physical body. So those smooth, orderly rhythms and moving into heart coherence affect not just our emotions, but they affect our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body. And when our heart slows down and it's moving into those states, our brain waves slow down in conjunction. New studies are showing that when we're in a heart coherent state, our brain is producing more alpha brain waves as well. And those are the brain waves that are more conducive to creativity and that flow state that takes us into those amazing collaborations with the divine. So music and heart coherence go together. And when I combine them, I like to think of them as acoustaceuticals. So we have pharmaceuticals, we have nutraceuticals. What would happen if there was a low cost, non invasive way to move us into these beneficial states that have no side effects? And that's really the power of utilizing music, sound, and vibration. The benefits are less stress, less anxiety, better sleep, more resiliency as well, things happening in your life, and ultimately the ability to be more productive, focused, and creative in your life as well.
Hmm. Well, you are such a fountain of great insights into the power of music to really shift the baseline of our life in so many positive ways, Barry. So I want to spend some time talking more explicitly about your upcoming program that we mentioned earlier. So we're really excited you've created a brand new program for us. It's called Sonic Medicine for Your Energy Centers: Sound Healing Modalities for Revitalization and Emotional Balance. And so it's really going to take a lot of the principles that we've talked about here today and gotten a taste of and put them into practice in your life so that you can experience the magic of sound medicine for really optimizing your whole being moving forward. So you can find this at the URL balanceyourenergycenterscourse.com. Balanceyourenergycenterscourse.com is a 7-week program, and you don't have to be a musician or have any musical background. It's really if you just feel the tug of interest and potential in this for you, you're warmly welcome to join. So Barry, I'd love for you to share in your own words a little bit of a first of an overview of like where you're going to be taking people and the bigger why of the course, and then I'll read out the module title so you can give us a preview of what's coming in each.
Great. So I'm starting from the premise as well that this is going to be more like a 7-week retreat. And yes, there will be unbelievable information, but I want it to be highly experiential and also very community based. So be connecting with people from all around the world and bringing in the essence of our own sound tribe to create these beautiful, beautiful experiences in each of the modules. And it's really based upon how can you use sound, music, sound, and vibration. In each week, we're going to look at a different methodology or modality of sound to basically tap into that. And coming from the place of whether it is you're new to this on your path of the energy centers, or you're just fine tuning something and you're longing for something more, something's calling out to you that you want to share your gift in the world. Sometimes it's just a little tweak and fine tuning and looking at why you're spending too much energy or why you might still be holding energetic blocks, identifying them, releasing them, and attuning them. Each week we'll be doing a different aspect of that so that you can really tap into your connection and what you're here to do. And that's really the long shot of it, Stephen, that people are going to be leaving here with tools to not just learn things, but to change their lives. There'll be live music every week. There'll be live meditation processes. There'll be things for you to take into your week to work on and to keep track of and to bring in more awareness of as well. And it's going to be implemented in very practical ways so that you can see changes and transformation in your life.
Sounds fantastic. So module 1 is called Ancient Meets Modern, demystifying the chakras to identify and release your energy blocks, activate your own sound symphony of breath.
So we are going to be looking at the history of the chakras. We're going to be looking at some research around the chakras, how the chakras interact with what I call the 4-body system of healing: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, how they relate to the physical body. And we're going to learn to identify energetic blocks, release them, and use our breath in this first module to really create a measuring of which chakras might be open and expansive and which ones might be closed and contracted, so that we can continue the growth of it from week to week, knowing what you'd like to work on and create intention for. So that is all about module 1.
Module 2, tone to identify and release blocks and experience energetic unburdening, finding dissonance throughout the body.
So your interest, Stephen, in terms of talking about the different tones and the different frequencies and how they relate, this is where we're really going to take a deep dive into that, because there's specific tones and frequencies that resonate with each energy center. And we're going to learn to identify, release, and attune. I call it IRA. You identify which ones are blocked by sending specific tones through each of the centers and determining whether there's emotional energy or vibrational energy that might be stuck there or stored there. And we're going to use trigger words and a process I call symphonic shedding. We'll be using music and specific trigger words to release energy that you might be holding there on a subconscious level for many years. And this can create some really beautiful healings and openings in your life.
Module 3, apply tuning forks to attune your energy centers for vitality, tranquility, mental clarity, and heightened wellness.
So in this module, we're really going to look at how we can cultivate a healing environment for transformation, how you can create that in working with tuning forks, understanding tuning fork principles, so the role of resonance and entrainment, and how that works with attuning each of the energy centers, and learn different protocols to tune the energy centers. And this will enable you to work on yourself if you've always wanted to utilize tuning forks, or it will also allow you to work on other people as well. And it's all about that fine tuning when you're using tuning forks and really tapping in to tweaking your energy so that you can create more of that energetic flow in the energy centers. And again, when they're in flow and they're aligned, when you're going to see benefits in your life of really that antenna that goes to source and spirit, you create from a different place when you're attuned.
Module 4, use intention to anoint and harmonize your energy centers, elevate your emotions, and form a deeper spiritual connection.
So our thoughts can actually change the pH of water. They can affect plant growth. They can even change the vibrational frequency of our planet. So we're taking that research and we're diving into how we can incorporate that into this 4-body system of healing, the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and creating intentions for each of the energy centers, using music as a carrier of information. Music carries emotions, music carries frequency, music carries harmonics. How can we tap into that and learn how using specific verbiage and sound can amplify our energy centers? And we're going to be tapping into I am combined with elevated emotions to really form a deeper spiritual connections and use our voice to really move through this deep meditative journey of anointing our chakras.
Module 5, Bija mantras to vibrationally cleanse, energize, and balance the energy centers while reducing stress and anxiety and increasing spiritual connection and overall well-being.
So the translation for the word bija is seed. And working with the bijas is really the perfect marriage of science and spirituality. So we're going to uncover a lot of new science around how chanting can be beneficial to our body, to our mind, to moving us to more elevated states and more peaceful states. And we're going to learn the 7 primary bija mantras and their significance. And the benefit of this is really calming the mind and nurture the potential of each seed. So each seed mantra has the ability to move into nurture into the essence of a tree within you, being grounded and supported, and at the same time, still connected to spirit. We'll have a live chanting session to stabilize energy, and we'll also harmonize the 5 elements.
Module 6, drumming and rhythm to clear, activate, and attune the energy centers. Express blocked emotions to shift your whole system back into rhythm.
So we have been using drumming for thousands of years. So it's really where ancient and modern meet together. And it's been used to communicate from village to village. It's been used to move energy. It's been used as rites of passages as well. So what is the next rite of passage in your life? We're going to utilize this session to really amplify intention, elevate your connection, and looking at how drumming can be used for heart and brain entrainment, the role of drumming on each of the chakras, learning how to use a drum to identify and release and attune your chakras with a hand drum. And then we're going to explore the influence of drumming on grounding processes and end with a beautiful process that is going to dive into radiance and rhythm together as we explore the chakras and balancing and activating them.
Module 7, implement an ongoing energy center sound protocol into your life to nourish your soul.
Well, of course, it's about bringing all of the modules together in the last modules, taking all the knowledges, all the experiences, all the practices you took into your week, all of the beautiful meditations, and tapping into that to create your own unique program using the methodologies that we taught in the course. So we're moving into reviewing and really syncing up to next steps for you and a call to action and exploring these cutting edge sound tools to implement into your life. In addition, we're going to learn how to schedule it into your day so there's never a day where you're going without these tools. And we're going to have plenty of time to have an integration with a mini concert that I'm going to do live to really join us all together in sacred song as this unique sound tribe that's coming together for these 7 weeks, and to integrate the energy and to move forward in our power, our passion, and our purpose in our next steps.
Well, what a truly beautiful offering, and so timely, since the world continues to get more chaotic and more difficult, and to be able to nourish ourselves in this way is such a beautiful gift to every single one of us. So thank you, Barry, for architecting this program and offering it. So I'll share a few other things. Again, you can see the whole program at balanceyourenergycenterscourse.com, balanceyourenergycenterscourse.com. And in addition to the 7 90-minute live modules that we just got some detail on, and there's more on the page there, you're also going to get recordings of every session, the video and audio, which is helpful because you can go back into the specific meditations and guidance. You also get word-for-word transcripts to study and highlight, as well as weekly exercises for home. The Facebook community often gets really popping, and there's a great way to connect with others and share your experiences and get support on different areas that you're developing as well. There'll be some small group time to connect with other participants. And on the page, you'll also see a number of extra bonuses to enhance your journey. There's a full audio playlist from Barry called Spectral Symphony, Journey Through the 7 Chakras Collection. That sounds cool. You want to share a little bit more about that, Barry?
Sure. So people are always asking me to create specific playlists. And I took that as a call to action for this course, that wouldn't it be great to have a specific sound journey for each of the 7 chakras? So I created a playlist where you have over an hour in total of 7 different musical pieces that you can utilize even before you tap into the course itself. It's a great way to prepare and feel the energy of each of the centers musically, how it resonates with you in your system, in your instrument. And it's going to be a way that you can continue as well after the course in terms of keeping the energy centers and chakras in aligned and open and expansive.
It's a great bonus just by itself. And then there's also another bonus on the page called Ethereal Elevation, a guided soundscape for amplifying creativity. Really cool. And there's one special bonus that you get when you sign up by midnight tonight Pacific time, and that's called Sonic Solutions for Harmonious Sleep. We got just a taste of the power of this work for sleeping in a deeper way. And so this is a video teaching and guided practice from Barry. You want to share more about that special bonus they get when they sign up right away?
Yes. Now this bonus really takes a deeper dive into the science of music and sleep, looks at some of the studies behind it, and really addresses how you can wind down every night in a more easy way, a more peaceful and calm way. And it has a longer process that really takes you into magnifying how you can process some of your day, how you can cleanse your energy before you go to sleep, and how you can really wake up with new energy and vital energy every day of your life, not taking the energy of your previous day with you. And it goes into a lot of the intricacies of how music can be used for sleep and how you can use it to produce more rest and make sleep more of a ritual for you.
Beautiful bonus and a great extra reason to sign up early and do it today. So we've kept the investment for this program very accessible. It's just 3 payments of $128, or you can save 10% when you pay in full up front with one payment of $349. The course is going to start on December 6th and run Wednesdays at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. But even if you can't make the live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings, the transcripts, and the community as well. And on the page, you'll also see a number of testimonials from Barry's previous course. Really great stuff. And again, there's more detail at balanceyourenergycenterscourse.com, but there's really just so many people who benefited from his work and recognize what a beautiful soul he is, and really sharing his genius and gifts with you so that you hold a deeper relationship with music and the healing power of it in your life. So you are in good hands, and you're in for a really blessed journey if you choose to go forward. So again, all of the details are at balanceyourenergycenterscourse.com, and the course title again is Sonic Medicine for Your Energy Centers, Sound Healing Modalities for Revitalization and Emotional Balance. So Barry, what a joyful and beautiful journey today with you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your passion with us, and specific guided processes. So anything still on your heart you want to share with folks who are considering going deeper into the Sonic Medicine for Your Energy Centers course?
Yeah, I would love to just give you an open invitation to join me, and know that every week is going to be a sacred, beautiful space that will be opening up. A lot of us have done work with the energy centers and some of us have not. So whether you're a beginner or you feel like you're advanced in this process, it's really going to be about fine tuning. And that's where breakthroughs happen in moving into fine tuning any aspect of working with the energy centers. And that's why we're going through different methodologies every week. Some might resonate with you, and some might be more powerful than others, so that you have the ability to really take this next level and have lots of different choices. A lot of us that are doing healing work, it's also a great course for healers for healers to heal thyself as well. Always great to have someone who's going to hold that space for you as you move into your next steps. And I'm going to do that with you and for you as well in this class. So please join me if you feel called to. I would love to have you.
Thank you, Barry, for that warm invitation. And thank you all for joining. What a beautiful hour. Thank you so much, Barry. And thank you all for joining. And again, if you'd like to go further, you can do it at balanceyourenergycenterscourse.com, and you will get that special bonus by midnight tonight if you sign up right away. And that special bonus was Sonic Solutions for Harmonious Sleep. So thank you, Barry, and thank you all for joining. Many blessings.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you all.